respiratory diseases and sickness. So these are all consequences of not having cheap, dependable, renewable energy.
There is a myth in ACP countries, and all these events I see the same myth about PV technology, because a lot of people think that PV technology is very expensive. Technical costs are decreasing very fast year by year. We have to bet on distributed generation. We have to bet on this decentralized generation. And they still want to have big lines of transmission, their own national big grid. They still want to bet on fossil fuels when this is not the key, because renewable energy is scalable to lose the control of the power generation.
It's not so easy to come up with, single, simple solutions. I think it has to be the problem of energy in general, access to energy, affordable energy, and then specifically renewable energy and energy efficiency has to be tackled from all sides. It's a regulatory environment, it's also the business climate, it's governments being totally behind actually launching these kind of programs and then really following through on their promises as well.
In West Africa, we have, I can see, enormous resources of the major renewable energy sources. Now would have hydro. You won't believe it, that we have up to 23,000 megawatt of hydro, of which just under 20% is exploited. You come to buy energy, 3/4 of the region has the potential to come out with energy resources, but we rely basically on what we call it traditional biomass and charcoal, which constitute 80% of the cooking fuel in the region. You come to wind, we have wind in most of the coastal areas with speeds all the way up to 12 meters per second, which is capable of producing enormous amounts of energy to serve the households and industry. But so far, so good, we have only 28 megawatt of wind exploited. And you come to solar. Solar is what we have even in more abundance. We have only 7.5 megawatt of solar installed. This shows that we have opportunity that we are not exploiting. Meanwhile, our people do not have energy. Even the electricity that we have, mostly is produced from fossil fuels, which is a lot more expensive now than the renewable energy sources.
We're just going through a new phase in the country. The first 4 turbines which we built in South Africa, they were done with the help of Danish donor funding. So we could actually create a project which sells to the municipality of Cape Town. So the power purchase agreement is one of the most important things. Now it's changed, and nothing would happen after that until we get regulation from the country. We're already starting now to train people. We're even opening a little school for mechatronics. We have a problem that we don't have the basic knowledge, the people we take on, because we don't have qualified electricians, qualified mechanics. So we have a different way of putting up a program for teaching, which will be in little groups, but it's international accepted. And what we do, we start, and once the turbines are standing, we bring qualified people from that supplier for the beginning, and they train slowly the people for operation and maintenance. And on the developing side, we have engineers or consultants. That's all. That's not a problem.
From the EIB's perspective, I can say that for the EIB, both inside and outside the European Union, renewable energy, energy efficiency, which we capture in a term climate action, is of utmost importance. We have money that's available to go into these projects, and so we are very active trying to look for these projects, and where we can also assist these projects with technical assistance. We have 2 different programs for technical assistance. One is coming from the investment facilities endowment, and the other one is a trust fund, the EU Africa Infrastructure Trust Fund, that we can also tap into to assist project developers, but also governments, to develop renewable energy and energy efficiency projects. So upstream we can already provide help to develop these projects faster, to provide some of the funding to develop these projects. But then when actual projects are there, we are ready to help with loans. So our main product is to provide senior loans. But currently we're also trying to look at alternative and innovative approaches, including guarantees and perhaps, hopefully also in the future, some mezzanine funding to increase the equity in some of the projects, priority projects in this area.
What we expect from Durban is that the global community will appreciate that we need to come to some concrete binding commitments.
After Durban, we foresee the climate change commitments coming on board. That is what we all hope for. So, and if they come on board and there's a framework for the implementation of these funds, then we should see a rapid growth in renewable energy technologies. So we just hope that the developed partners, that we may call them, live up to their commitments and then make it a reality for renewable energy.
In my view, it is a process, and it's very good to have discussions in Durban. It's very good to focus the whole world on this one big priority of greenhouse gas emissions and the fact that we really need to take care of our planet.
Per year the sun sends 15,000 times the quantity of energy we need on the whole world, 15,000 times down to the earth. So we just have to turn it into electricity and warmth.
Africa and most of ACP countries is a white paper to write a new future on it. So we have the opportunity to push on renewable energies and start well from the beginning.
Climate change talks will resume in Durban at the United Nations Roundtable, where it is hoped the international community will come to an agreement on how to address what many call the 21st century global threat. The conversation goes on.